Hello ladies and gentlemen, I was able to afford the game you're about to see thanks to Play Asia, an online store that has all the games, foreign and otherwise, that you could possibly want. If you want to help me afford more games to cover on the channel, consider buying something through them via the link in the description and using the coupon code BLUEVITA during checkout to save a few bucks. It all helps in the long run. Either way, thanks for your support and enjoy the video. Hello ladies and gentlemen, this is Blue Maxima, and I'm here checking out the Spyro Reignited Trilogy. I grew up on Spyro the Dragon. I play a lot of Crash Bandicoot as well, and when that remaster came out, I bought that on day one, but Spyro was more my guy. He was the one I played the most, by far. I have the first set of worlds for Spyro 2 and Spyro 3 drilled into my head so hard that every time I saw something even a little weird about the Reignited trilogy, it immediately came to the forefront. So, I have been playing the collection a bit. This is after about 4 hours overall of game time, and I've been through the first two worlds of Spyro the Dragon, the first world of Spyro 2, and the first world of Year of the Dragon. So I like to think that I've gotten a pretty good taste of what the HD collection has to offer. And notably, it's a bit weird. Spyro the Dragon's first set of levels are a lot smaller than I remember, but then again, as I said before, Spyro 2 and 3 were my mainstays when the PlayStation was a thing. So we're going to play Spyro 3, but I will be able to tell you some stuff about Spyro and Spyro 2. The weird thing about this game is that the three games look almost identical in a way, like stylish-wise. It feels like when they did the graphical stuff for this game at least, they more or less made one game, then spread it out across the three of them. Instead of doing something like doing the three games separately enough so that you can tell the difference. So really, playing any one of them will be enough to give you an idea of what the other two are like. So we're going to go play Year of the Dragon. Again, because it's the most varied in its gameplay, and again, as I said, it'll look about the same no matter what game you're playing. So, let's go load in. The load times are usually okay, although funnily enough, they're actually longer than the original PlayStation 1 versions. I thought that was actually quite funny, but oh well. You can pick whichever game you want to start with, and you can quit back to the main menu and immediately hop back into another game. That's nice. But yeah, I literally just got here on this save game. I walked out the door to watch a cutscene, and then I just saved the game, quit, and got ready to do this video. So, yeah, this is what the remake looks like. And I'll give them this. For 90 to 95% of what they've done here on the Reignited trilogy, to a T. It is almost perfect, and there are many tiny little things that I can think of that I don't agree with, but there are also things that I actually completely approve of. There are some things that I actually really appreciate, but we're just going to have a little bit of a wander around first because, well, there's no reason not to, because the game just looks absolutely fantastic. Hi, Hunter.
You see ladders or walls that look climbable. Just jump onto them, and you'll grab them with your claws.
Thank you for the info. Hunter looks a little odd. Iwara is bangable, but yes. So we might as well go hop into a level. No reason to stick around here. So for those of you who don't know what Spyro the Dragon is, on the PlayStation original at the very least, Spyro the Dragon was a trilogy of 3D platformers. You wander around levels, you collect different kinds of collectibles, the main one being gems, but you can also pick up dragons, or orbs, or talismans, or, in this game, eggs. And you kill some dudes by charging them or flaming them with those sorts of attacks. You have roll buttons that no one ever used. Like, I have a few, well, used to have a few friends, don't talk to them very much anymore just because of the usual sort of things, but I used to have a lot of friends that would play these games, and I don't think any of them ever used the roll ability.
That was mean. I thought I was a goner. Thanks for saving me.
Homer the Firefly, apparently. I'm pretty sure that was his name. Most of the names seem intact as far as I can remember. I don't remember the exact names, but yeah, everything looks in order. Hi. But yeah, you wander around the levels, you flame people or you charge people. Some are immune to certain attacks, some aren't. Zoe will save progress for you. You get the small ones to get more health for your dragonfly. Your dragonfly has 3 stages of health, and then you have 1 more hit until you're gone. Your dragonfly will also help you gather up gems. There was an ability that you would not so much unlock, but the game is a lot more open about it in this one, that you used to be able to hit L1, L2, R1, and R2 in order to make sparks, which is your dragonfly, seek out the nearest treasure. However, in this game, they've changed the binding. So when you press L3, it does the same thing, and they actually let you know that this is a thing in the control menu. I approve of this quite handily, because in this sort of game where there's lots of gems lying around the place, you can tend to have a little bit of trouble looking for that last hidden gem on a level. And if it's through like a portal into a minigame or something, it will actually point at the portal. Ooh, dragon egg. Hello, Michael, you're cute. All the dragons are cute. They aren't the exact same animations, as far as I can tell from the original game, but they've been made with the same sort of spirit, and I approve of this. Oh dear. Gotta get out of there before I get eaten by the Blade Piranhas. But yes, for the most part, the game controls absolutely fine. There are a couple of weird things that I would like to bring up, but for the most part, you actually move faster on the ground than you used to. Like, this is not the usual walk speed. They actually make you move a little bit quicker, which I appreciate because you never wanted to walk around in the previous game. It was so slow, it was bloody useless. In this game, it's so much more just doable. Like, seriously, this works so much better. Right, I forgot, I have to light those, don't I? Which means I need to go back and find the one that I skipped. You do have the ability to charge to get around faster as well, but there is some downsides about using charging for everything. Mainly that charging in this game is actually a little bit harder because of the way the camera zooms in. It's a lot closer and actually surprisingly hard to control. Not the worst thing in the world, but if you're trying to charge someone who's close to you, don't bother, back up, and try and charge them from a distance, because due to the way the analog stick works, you'll just be circling around them. It's a little bizarre, but it works fine otherwise. It's a little weird, but it works fine. Right, don't want to jump in that. That's bitey fish water. Jumping and pressing the X button again to glide, pressing triangle to hover, that all seems to work okay. One minor thing that I'm thinking about is that you actually seem to lose a fair bit of height once you do your glide, which is a little odd. I'm not entirely sure what that's about, but otherwise it seems to work okay. As far as I can tell, a bunch of the glitches that used to be in the game are actually gone now, which is unfortunate, because there are a bunch of glitches that were absolutely hilarious. If you haven't seen the Just a Friend Let's Play of Spyro 2, I fully recommend that, because it is a treasure of an LP. It shows off all the glitches. Right, I'm not going to get over there just yet, am I? Yeah, for the most part, controlling Spyro seems perfectly good. Funnily enough, they actually give you the option to turn on the active camera, which seems completely and utterly pointless in 2018, but you can do that. It's a little weird. You do also have the ability to swap the music between the remastered version and the original version. There's not that much difference, but the one thing I do like is the dynamic music. You can actually make it so that the music starts up and slows down as you go throughout the level, which is great. You can change your controls a little, but nothing that really matters too much. And you can also see your entire move list, which is awesome. There are a couple of other things that are going on.
Jammed shut. Only the power of gems can hope to move it.
Fucking money bags.
You've made a wise choice. It will mean more eggs for you and more gems for me. Best of all, Spyro, I can stop speaking haiku. What a sweet relief.
Yes, these games always had a good sense of humour. But yeah, for the most part, the games play great. They feel nearly identical to the original versions, and that's good. I can't see if there's any sort of like major changes that would do a massive screw up. That would count as a massive screw up, i.e. Crash and Sane Trilogy making it so that you had to jump a little bit early because they changed the collision masks on the box, on the character for some reason. That was a little bit weird. But there doesn't really seem to be a problem here. None the slightest, which is great. Probably should have seen what the other guy had for us before I made my flight over there. So if I just jump again, there we go. How you doing?
You are brave, Dragon. Much braver than I by far. Here, take this.
And you didn't get to see it there, but the portal actually constructed itself instead of just rising out of the ground. And there are a few touches like that that they've added that I really appreciate. Like, wait until we see a... whatchamacallit? Wait until we see a superpower portal. There's a couple of them, and they look fantastic. And these little portals here too. Like that. That is a really nice effect. They look way better.
So sweet. The springtime trees are fragrant. I'm off to kick butt.
Not to mention the entire game in general really does just look better. So this is Sheila. She's an alternate character with her own moveset, and of course she's a kangaroo, because if you couldn't tell by that bloody accent, bloody Aussie mate. So, she has the ability to double jump, and also kick the crap out of people. And by double jump I mean boing. There we go. A little hard to get the timing, but not that big of a deal.
We have the bombs here. We must destroy the egg cage. But we just go.
We just go boom.
Kangaroo can help.
Poor guy.
You can clear the path for us. Will Sheila help us?
Kangaroo can help. Will you? Yes, I love your freestyle haiku. I would have skipped the rest. But I will give them this. The game looks absolutely beautiful. Oh, I have to destroy the rocks. Okay, fair enough.
Yes.
Kick the rocks, stomp the mushrooms. Got it. The rock. The rock. But yeah, the game looks absolutely gorgeous. There are a couple of things that are a little strange, and the first thing I want to point out is the... oh, where's he going? Oh. Nope, I was just too late. Damn it. One thing I want to point out is that the game's got some absolutely horrible motion blur.
Yes.
Now, some of you might not be bothered by this, but me, I find it almost intolerable. The camera just blurs all over the place. And I'm not entirely sure why this is a thing. I think it might be a thing related to the PlayStation 4 Pro's processing power, but I can't be 100% sure on that one. It's a little weird. Because I turned on, I didn't turn on boost mode at first, because I didn't think I really wanted it or needed it or anything like that. Because, well, it's a PS4 Pro, you think it'll run properly without having to worry about that sort of junk. But it seems that for whatever reason, the motion blur is slightly better when I turn boost mode on, because I'm on a PlayStation 4 Pro. So you'd think that would be absolutely fine, but it seems to be a little bit worse for some reason, and I'm not sure what the deal is with that when you don't have it turned on. I'm guessing it might be something to do with the game's performance.
Egg cage remains.
Help his brother out, great.
If you clear my path. Yes.
So do I have to kick out all the egg? No, I don't. I'm guessing he just takes a different path. Sure does. I don't remember the path this guy takes. I haven't played these games in bloody ages. But yes, oh, damn it. Random rock right there for some reason, sure.
Yes!
But yeah, motion blur. It gives me a headache. Like, I haven't been able to play these games for... Well, I mean, I could play them for like an hour at a time without having to rest my eyes, but still. The motion blur is there, it's really noticeable, and it seems completely unnecessary. So I'm not entirely sure why it's there. Great. You know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to walk away. I think you get the idea of how she plays. I can come back and do this later, and I do plan on it. But yeah, motion blur. Bit intense, not entirely necessary. And I don't really like it that much. I wish you could turn it off. Ooh, boss fight. Cool. Oh, hang on. I need to charge this back again, don't I? Yay, good night. With that said, though, the actual graphics that they got going on here look great. The just overall quality of the levels in the remaster is brilliant. They look awesome. And they fit the original levels really well. Like, as I said before, I know the first world of these games like the back of my hand. And to be able to play through them like this, and have them be almost identical to the originals, minus, you know, the obvious overhaul, is great. They've done a really good job with making the levels look and sound like the original levels. The Reignited soundtrack sounds great, too. Wow, that one went all the way over there. That was a little odd. But yeah, they've done a fantastic job with making the levels look and sound like their original counterparts while giving them a really fancy makeover. The lighting is excellent. Like when you get into Glimmer in Spyro 2, which is the intro level, and you go into the cave with the gems, the lighting work there is just spectacular. And there are a fair few cases like that. The rest, it's not amazing all the time. It just, you know, it stays at good to great most of the time anyway. But at the same time, it still looks great even when it's not firing on all cylinders. Like, this level here, this level specifically, the one I'm in, this looks exactly, almost exactly like how it looked before. The lighting is a little bit different. Just slightly different. Nothing too out of the ordinary. But it still feels just like the same swamp level back on Spyro 2. Damn it. Screwed that one up. Alright, back we go. I need to get back over there, don't I? Yeah, it looks exactly like it, and most of the levels feel exactly like the originals in terms of just overall presentation and themes. So they've done a fantastic job with making the levels feel as they are. The sound talent, as in the voice acting, slightly less praise from me on that one. A few of the characters they've done so well, I wouldn't be surprised if they got the original actors in. Like Alora, the Sorceress, what do you like? Sparks, Spyro too. He sounds almost identical. Like even the little tone change they had because they swapped voice actors between Spyro 2 and Spyro 3, they sound like super close to the original game. Like so much that I could barely tell the difference. So yeah, some voice acting pretty good, some voice acting not so much. Hunter I'm not a big fan of. I kind of miss the tone of sarcasm he has on everything. They've kind of made him a more generic, surf's up dude sort of stereotype, which is, I get that's what he is, but at the same time, he he definitely doesn't have the exact same spark that the original Hunter did, which is a little disappointing. Moneybags is the same way. He definitely doesn't seem like as greedy a trollop as he was in the previous games. He's still okay, though. A couple of characters actually have voice acting that didn't used to. Like the ballooners in Spyro 1 that take you between worlds. They actually have voice actors now. It's a little bizarre. But it's fine. They still... They sound pretty much how you would expect them to, if I'm being honest. Oh, hi, Hunter.
Hey, Spyro. Zoe told me that if...
Yep, they gotta give you these tutorials every time you play. Like in bloody Spyro 2, they give you all the same tutorials on how to jump and how to glide, and then they give you the same tutorials in Spyro 3. It's a little odd, but it's, you know, it's not the worst thing in the world to be absolutely accurate like that. You'd also have some other weird little things that are missing, like where's the gems flying down from the top to the bottom of the screen there? That was a disappointing little thing they had going on. That's unfortunate.
Those crummy Rhinox forced us to build a statue of the sorceress. Then after we built it, she complained it was too ugly. Huh. If you ask me, the statue is far prettier than she is.
You're probably not wrong, mate. The sorceress is a bit of an uggo, isn't she? Still missed. Oh well. Ow. Ow. Bastards. Kind of need to take them out because they have gems. We can't leave behind gems. There is no leaving behind gems allowed whenever possible. Hang on, there's still one. Yep, there he is. Oh, we got those up there too. And I missed that completely. Good lord, go me. Yeah, it looks like I'm going to need to aim a little bit higher, which means making our way back over here. Never mind! If I remember correctly, there's actually another way to get those, but for now we will just move on. But yeah, even with those little issues... Oh, I appear to have lost sparks. That's not great. Even with those little issues, though, and there are a couple of other minor nitpicks that one can have, because, you know, they aren't 100% perfect or on par with the original games. With all of that said, it is still a really well done remaster. It feels great to play. Even Spyro still feels good to play even today, and the little changes they made, like having treasure finding unlocked by default, and having it so that, yeah, that's actually a death. That's unfortunate. Probably back at the start of the level. But yeah, the game still plays great. They originally played great, and the original version still played pretty good today, but this version with treasure seeking being unlocked by default and shown off in the menu so that you're not left guessing as to where those one last gems are on every level. Fantastic. The faster walking speed was obviously, you know, given as a bit of a... Oh dear. The faster walking speed is an outright benefit. All the games have trophies now, which is interesting. And they're not, like, some of them are trophies that are along the lines of, you know, beat the bosses and get to the end of particular levels and stuff like that. But there's not very many of them. There's actually a bunch of really weird ones, like, kill all of the afraid Rhinox in the first level of Spyro 3. Ouch. There's just a couple of weird ones like that. I'm not entirely sure why they went for those and didn't make them skill points, because there are skill points in this game. I will show you once we take care of this guy and make sure I don't die in 2 hits. There we go. So if we hit up the guidebook, we can actually see our skill points right away, instead of, whatchamacallit, instead of having to unlock them at the very end, which is a little bizarre. And there doesn't seem to be as many. I can swear I remember there being more skill points. And you can see all the things you've done here. Oh yeah, the menus are a little boring, if I'm being honest. Like, you can see in the background that it's meant to be like a themed background for the game you're playing, but I kind of miss how the guidebook used to have all the flippy pages and all that. I'm guessing that's going to be, yeah. The other 2 rockets are around here somewhere. Still as satisfying as ever to get a bunch of gems like that.
I'm almost ready to reveal my latest piece of real-time 4-dimensional performance art. I call it Hideous Exploding Witch number 9.
Yep, fair enough. I'll just skip that. Yeah, but they play great. They look great. The music's great. The voice acting is debatable, but still decent enough. Not a game breaker. My only real major problem with the game is the overuse of motion blur. And as I said before, since I've got boost mode on, it doesn't seem to be as bad. That's 2 rockets. I know there's a 3rd one around here somewhere. And there is another, like, minor little nitpick where the grass can actually make it really hard to see certain things. Okay, so the statue's gone, and this is where I get my egg.
I forgot I hid this egg inside the statue.
You hid the egg inside the statue. You careless bastard. But yes. And considering they've updated the feel of Spyro across all 3 games, there is a, like, it is pretty reasonable just to start from Spyro 1 and then go straight to Spyro 2 and Spyro 3. Like, I don't see any particular reason not to do it that way because, well, the games feel absolutely fine in that sense. Where does this one go? I assume it just takes you back up there. Sure does. And immediately falls me off. Bastards. Cool. So yeah, you can play through all 3 games, and it definitely feels like going through, well, not the same game 3 times, but going through the same game, just mechanically wise, and just slowly getting better and better at it. You know, the general idea of just progressing. And it really is great. I mean, it's not like Spyro, Crash I should say, as far as I can tell, where it felt like they kind of screwed with the game's collision boxes and all that. No, it feels on point. And that's all I really wanted. An on-point remake of Spyro, and for like 90-95% of it, yeah, they got it. They got it good. So I approve quite heavily. Also, I think you can flame faster. It's just a theory, but I'm pretty sure you can flame faster than you used to be able to. I suppose the strafing would be useful on these bastards. Didn't help me there, shit. Okay, yep, it took 3, but oh no, we just landed fast. Oh, right, that's a Major 9 level. Got it. That's one of the things that keeps you coming back, the unlockable characters. Let's go see what's in here. I don't remember what this minigame actually is, so we'll see. I like these little side pulls. These were one of the best parts of Spyro 3 for me. Just all these extra little activities off to the side that you could do.
I was playing catch with my pet wolf, Farley.
Okay, I'll go save him. Oh, hey, buddy. Can he not come up here with me? Oh, no, the door. Right, that would make sense. Okay, come on, buddy. Will he just follow me if I've got it in my mouth? Nope, I have to spit it, don't I? Yep, there he goes. Nice. The enemies look spot on, by the way. Like, the crabs in Spyro 2, you could have convinced me they used the same model and just put better textures on it and upped the polygon count, because good lord, they looked almost exactly the same. It was actually bizarre. Give me that. Good boy. Coming? Or do I have to spit the ball over there? Alright, I'm guessing I have to spit the ball over there, wait for him to get across. Well, I failed. Failed at that spit. Let's try that again. That's more like it. Is that a gem down there? Nope. It can be kind of hard to see gems in this game because the grass is just tall enough to obscure the smaller ones. Meanwhile, in the previous game, they didn't have to worry about the grass being obscuratory because they... Obscuratory, what kind of word is that? You're there, why... What? That's bizarre. Oh, there's a button on there. Right. Okay. Give me that. Give me that. I'll spit it on there. Nope. Such a simple puzzle, and yet I screw it up every damn time. Just spit it straight on there. Hover on top of the button. Let it go. Why does he not want to go and hop on the... For God's sake. Hey, it's... Dogs. Can I spit it like up there and hit that from long distance? No, I can't. That's unfortunate. And I'm guessing I have to charge that button. Great. So, bring the dog back down here. Oh, he appears to be stuck. Brilliant. First bloody bug I find in the entire game is this. I can't flame him or charge to move him along like he used to be able to. And now I've got the wall stuck up there. Right. Goodbye, cruel world. It's my chair wobbling under me. Alright. How much of this do I have to go through? All of it. Great, give me that. Alright, let's try this again. Give me that. Bring that down. Spit. It's much more like it. Give me that damn egg.
You found Farley. How can I ever thank you? I mean,
how does an egg survive getting chewed on by I don't even know.
Farley's been chewing.
This game's sense of humor, after all, it's bloody Insomniac.
Oh well, it's the thought that counts.
Seems
right?
yeah. Right. Got the egg. So let's leave. So yeah, that was a quick look at the Spyro Reignited Trilogy. It is really good. It gets a lot right. There is very little that it gets wrong. And most of it isn't even wrong, it's just weird. If they got rid of that stupid motion blur, or maybe just even the ability to turn it off, it would be an instant recommend. If they don't though, well, it's still worth the play. Just be ready to have to put it down if your eyes are sensitive to motion blur like mine are. Seriously, I've seen games with motion blur sliders that have less motion blur than this.
Oh, well, shoot. Fiddly-fo, bro! Gabling-gablo, goodbye!
We should help her. You're kidding, right? She nearly toasted you. Yeah, but she was aiming at you. That's it.
Thanks.
No problem. It's a good thing for you Hunter was around.
I can look after myself.
Oh, sure you can.
Would you like me to show you?
Out of magic, huh? How about I give you a jump start?
I'll deal with you later.
Hey, why'd you have to scare her off?
The cutscenes aren't 100% word for word accurate. They add a couple of extra jokes here and there, but they're still pretty damn faithful. So, you know, props to them for that one. But yeah, if they get rid of the motion blur, this would pretty much be an instant recommend. But at the current moment, just, yeah, be ready for it if you do pick it up. I'm having a lot of fun playing it, and I'm going to try and continue playing it if I can find the bloody time. So there you go. This has been Blue Maxima, and I will see you all next time.